Yeah. So last time we continued our adventure down the river, with Roz helping us get out of well, some of us get out of the fast flowing water. Turned out to be a good thing that she blindly jumped ahead. Good work, Roz. Um, and yeah, we went to the cave. Thankfully, we didn't have much problems with the saber wolves. Uh, there was something weird going on with cave entrance. We couldn't see into it. Some sort of magical block. But so when we entered the cave, we were ambushed by a bunch of shadows. Who, I mean, they really did a number on Corona. Um, and I mean, honestly, I think Ross took some pretty bad hits too. Um, and yeah, but we managed to fight them off, and have a rest, in which an Iridur, a creature that steals information from people's minds, typically steals information from people's minds, um, contacted us, and well, he was rejected by both Audi and Titan because they both felt they really didn't have secrets they could share. Roz accepted the deal, and honestly, I don't know what she got out of it other than the Iridur was like, "Yeah, now I'm willing to make deals." Um, but that's okay. I'm sure Roz will figure it out. And then, yeah, the Iridur hinted that what we were looking for was further into the cave. So we journeyed in a little further and found a rift, a portal into the murk. And the party decided that it's probably best not to pursue that, even though the Iridur suggested to Roz that its master was on the other side and Roz would be able to venture through and come back unharmed, um, by his master, and thus be able to potentially close the portal. But everybody kind of felt that was a bad idea, and Roz agreed, so we didn't bother with it. Um, and from there, we went back to camp, Iridur in tow, so that we could tell everyone that it was willing to make deals with people. Cora is surprisingly interested in helping in this war. And that's where we left it off, I think.
I'm thinking really hard, which means I'm getting into character, so that's good because it's hard. I do know that Willow is going to be the one to talk to the farmers for us and, bids us go with all haste because the portal will cause untold damage. We have no idea how much or how widespread it will be. So the faster it's closed, the better.
Hey, Dyer, I don't think I can hear you on stream. I thought it was on my side.
Priming anything at all. No,
There you
yeah,
are.
it's fixed now. So, this happens. I did a dumb where I updated OBS sometime last week. And I looked at all the basic things to make sure it was there, but I never think to check the audio, which is my fault. So, oh well.
Figured I'd say something before we really got in the thick of it.
Yeah, no, that was great. Yeah, good to do that now versus later when I've talked about things that are new and relevant. Yeah. So
Which means you might need to give your Wednesday announcement again.
I have a new job. May have orientation on Wednesdays. Don't know when. Might cancel a session sometime in the near future. And that's back to the recap. I'll quickly said, Willow, the druid that was with the party, is going to report back to the farmer to tell them everything that's happened. So the party can expedite their trip back to the camp directly to relay the information, but also so that way at the start of today's session, we could start back in camp. Also, I did want to clarify that the Iritor did not follow the party, but instead said he would take his own walking trip to get to a location near to the camp as to not, be murdered upon arrival, mostly. So he's on a little walking journey of Saphinus. Anything else? I think we've gotten a lot of things. Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Well then. Without any further ado, we can begin the session. Which, as previously just mentioned, the party, after successfully defeating a whole gang of shadows, speaking to the Iritor, making a deal with it, it traveling towards the outskirts of the camp when it'll arrive, and no one knows for certain. The party, with Willow's help, got back to the farmland very quickly, left Willow to relay the information about the situation to the farmer, while they headed back to the spot that they were going to teleport back to the camp, to which we have them. Very simply, we can just have you all arriving back through the portal back to the hunter's camp, so that you can begin your in-between rest time. Dare I ask, people want to make some con saves for the teleportation sickness, or do people just want to make assumptions based off of consistent numbers so far?
I'm happy to just assume Titan failed.
I'm always interested in rolling for mine.
Those who want to.
She could.
Throw the dice.
I rolled mine, got a 17.
Yep.
That's a 12 for
Oh,
Audie.
fighters. Sufficient.
Why do I even bother rolling natural one for Lilith?
Oh,
Oh no.
Yep. This is unsurprising at this point. Yeah, pretty consistent.
Got a 15 con.
Yep. Just, she doesn't like teleporting, apparently. So you all arrive back in the camp, two of you feeling a little woozy, to which you take a moment to catch your breath. You recover in a short few minutes. However, you are, as the last time you arrived, politely accosted by a small salesman carrying a tray filled with an anti-nausea remedy meant to be sipped on while you recover.
Same kid as last time?
Not the same kid as last time, a different one.
Alright. Yeah, Titan will grab another remedy and give him 2 silver.
You will receive 1 remedy and give 2 silver.
Lilith will watch Titan take the remedy and assume that 2 silver is the cost. And we'll pay the 2 silver to the kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This time, unlike last time where it was like, whoa, look at this. The kid just walks away to the new group. You can to the other group of kids who are clearly, doing this as part of the operation, and you just kind of see them look between one another and nod like, yeah, there's something evolving there for certain. Although actually, I don't think any of you would notice, given everyone's average passive perceptions. You see the kids go over, return, and they're not quite as joyous as last time. But you were only delayed from heading into the camp by a few short minutes as 2 of your party members recover. You have returned from a mission, a successful mission at that, mostly. I would say like 85% successful. Since, degrees. So, from here, what is the order of events? What are things people need to get done or approach?
We should probably let Covert know what we found right away, right?
Sooner the better, I'd say.
I think it's really important, yeah.
All right, well, let's go find the Red Cape bastard.
Gonna be at his desk.
Well, then I guess it'll be easy to find.
I'd be surprised if he wasn't.
Imagine the punch coming out of that. Actually having a pool running about when you could find Doc over.
And so, with that nugget of wisdom, you head towards Covert's desk. Yeah, usual walk through the camp. Not much has changed. You do notice that there's a bit more hustle and bustle. I mean, not a great deal. You guys weren't gone that long, about the day. But it's more of a, you're noticing the overall activity has increased throughout multiple parts of the camp due to the handful of refugees that came in from the last time you left for a few days. You're really starting to see all these people settle in and find a place for them to exist and function and work in, and that there's new craftsmen working behind various places. You can see that there are new porters and squires and manual laborers that are being worked in other of the mercenary faction camps, taking care of the camps, keeping things clean and tidy, weapon maintenance, things like that. And just everyone's getting into a swing. It isn't before long that you come down the central stretch of the hunter's camp, the divide between the professional mercenaries and the refugee mercenaries. Pass by the Ivory Seductress, and beyond that, you see sitting at his desk as always is Covert. Except this time he has his feet kicked up on his desk, and he's currently reading a small little pocketbook, and just kind of seems for once relaxing.
Oh, I hate to burst your bubble, but oi, honey, we're home.
Well, welcome back. And everyone looks to be fine. Same day, even, honestly. I'm impressed.
Yeah, so good news and bad news.
He looks everyone once over. All right, no one heavily wounded, no one dead, not carrying any extra burdens on you, so what crazy thing did you run into while on your mission?
Portal to the Merc.
Damn, just out with it, huh? I like it.
Oh, okay. He puts his book down after dog-earing a page, and then sits forward and gets up and stretches. All right, hang on, give me a second. And he turns and he just sort of waves a hand, and you see the mildly ethereal humanoid shape of his unseen servant conjure up, and you see pick up the book and the pen. All right, begin. So, portal, where is it? What kind of creatures did you have to fight? Any identifying markers as to where it goes?
Lilith is just going to start going through every detail. The shadows, the way it was affecting the wolves, where the portal is, the very powerful entity we assume is on the other side. And then she'll let somebody else bring up the deal stuff.
Well, Roz isn't gonna do it.
I'm sensing you're all withholding something.
We met an Eriger who was sent by their master to reach out to the war effort and offer information.
So an information broker, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. And what happened?
They're making their way by foot somewhere in the vicinity of the camp so that somebody can speak with them that isn't, well, somebody who is allowed to make decisions, I suppose.
Right. Okay. You have no idea when or where they're going to show up?
We gave them a location to go to. She'll pull it. I think what Titan like pointed at a map. I think.
Yeah, it had a map.
We'll describe, how far away from the camp, which direction.
All right, fair. I mean, we'll worry about it when it shows up. It's not going to be hard to miss a camp this large, so I'm sure it'll come introduce itself to somebody at some point. All right, that's an interesting wrinkle I didn't expect. Anything else? Just that? Did you manage to close the portal?
No, from our best understanding, closing the portal would have meant having to go through and destroy whatever was powering it.
Generally speaking.
Didn't really feel like we were equipped for that.
Generally speaking. Okay, noted. Merc portal, Irritor. What about the Saber Wolves?
We were working with a druid under the greenskeeper there,
Yeah, Willow, yeah.
Willow.
Mm-hmm.
We were intending on doing our best not to kill the saber wolves and instead get to the root of the problem, and that's what led to this. So we didn't actually kill any of them.
Right. So the farm still is going to be under threat for a period of time until the wolves get fixed.
I believe Willa mentioned growing out the brambles around the farm to help deter them.
No, that would be a good idea. That'll stop them. They're not really equipped to get through, druid impediments like that. Should be fine. All right. Anything else important you need to mention before I start considering who I need to send to go deal with the portal? Oh, all right.
Willow really wants to that no harm comes to the wolves. It might keep us in good grace with the greenskeeper too.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's what you all were aiming for, based off of what you said, and based off of what Viren and Joyce told me the last time they came back. So, again, taken into consideration.
Lil would have shared the name of the Mercurian we were given. I just can't remember it.
Aura?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so at least the Irritor whose domain they are under belongs to Pora. The Hoarder's Secrets are the Umbral Ducks. But if you do, you'll just see Covert's acknowledgement as if, like, yeah, obviously. He just nods. Like, that's pretty easy knowledge for him to know. All right, if there's nothing else, you guys can, probably should go get to bed. Sounds like you've had a full day. It's getting late. Is there anything I can do for you before you all head off?
You know people into camp, generally, right?
Yep, it's my job.
Okay, if you were going to point me towards someone who you thought could give good counsel and advice, which direction would you point?
Counseling about what? Can you be more specific?
I and I alone was supposedly allowed to walk into the portal to the Merc, and I was too scared to do it, and I'm a little shook up, and I just want to ask someone someone wise and understanding what they think.
Is it about why you were the only one allowed to, or just because the opportunity has left you shaken?
Shaken.
Gotcha. You're gonna want someone that's comforting, has a lot of life advice, has dealt with spooky things. Honestly, my best suggestion to you is probably going to be someone familiar. I'd tell you to go talk to Bandit.
All right.
Granted, if you're looking for a different type of comfort, there is also a suggestion at the Ivory Seductress, but I understand you and your situation, and yeah, so that's up to you.
My situation?
Yeah.
Does everybody know?
My desk is right here. I watched you leave.
Oh, you
Screaming.
Saw my face in the mud.
And the face plant in the mud, yeah.
Lilith is trying so hard not to laugh.
So, I understand. It's okay. I'm just trying to be a friend.
Were you watching me there for like 5 minutes with my face in the dirt?
I was making sure you weren't suffocating.
Oh. Well, I'm mortified, but for an entirely different reason. So, if anything, that was helpful. Thank you.
Great.
It was normal.
Yeah. I mean, it's my job. I'm here to, keep an eye on and care for the mercenaries. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. That's good advice. I'll probably go see Bandit at some point.
Yeah. Anybody else have any woes they need addressed?
Nope, I'm good.
Well then, don't let me keep you any longer than necessary. You guys know the drill by now. Free meals at the tavern, free service at the Seductress. And like I said, probably get some early rest. It sounds like you guys got put through the ringer today.
A lot more swimming than we were expecting. Lilith's just gonna leave.
Yeah, right to bed then.
So yeah, who are those that are not going right to bed?
What time is it?
It is 8:30 p.m.
I mean, Titan's not going straight to bed, but he's not really doing anything important either.
Okay.
Lilith will probably stay up, but be in her tent until like midnight when she'll slip into her trance.
Mm-hmm. As elves
She
do.
doesn't want to be up at 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah, fair. Anybody else?
Sleeping.
Yep. Guess it just leaves Audie.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to think how this would probably play out for her. I think she would probably go eat, meet up with her family, kind of try to have everything normalize a little bit. But she would probably sit by the fire probably quite a while. Not really sure that she wants to sleep, but trying to kind of check in with everyone else, share stories, see how the camp was.
Mm-hmm.
idle chatter. And yeah, I think eventually she would go to a fitful sleep. But probably around the same time Lilith would, honestly.
Fair. Okay. Easy enough for you to, sit around a campfire in the section with all the other Greenwood residents and, share stories of recent experiences with those that are awake. I suppose the better way for me to frame this, because now very clearly people are going to go to bed and we're going to move to the next day. Is there anything anybody wants to get out of this time? Is anyone seeking like a specific interaction with an NPC?
The following day, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And tonight, not tomorrow.
Titan's going to be studying the new book he got, but otherwise,
fair enough.
Yeah, it sounds like a night of downtime.
Yeah.
Lilith is going to pick back up that training Callista was giving her with the trying to see if she can block poor Bellathor out from seeing everything this 25-year-old young woman has to see.
Right. Fair. All right. Well, for those of you that are actively doing two things, Titan, how long are you spending reading the book before inevitably going to sleep, amongst whatever else you do before bed?
Probably about 3 hours.
Okay. Do me a favor. Keep track of that.
Okay.
Just how many hours you read the book. Let's see. If not, I'll keep track of it in your journal. And Quinn, have Lilith have her roll a charisma check. Just a plain old charisma check.
11.
11. You continue to practice the thing that Callista has instructed you, but probably due to the wear of the day, you don't make any progress.
I feel like about 11:30, when she's thinking about, calling it, she accidentally just slips into a trance while she's doing it.
Mm-hmm. Reasonable, likely even. Okay. Then you all are going to find yourselves in places of various comfort and fall asleep for the evening. Hey Roz.
Yeah.
Do me a favor.
Uh-huh.
I need you to make me a save.
What kind?
It's gonna be a intelligence save, one of your best ones.
No.
Intelligence. All right.
Yeah.
12.
Okay. Don't be alarmed by the amount of dice I'm about to roll.
I won't. But that's a lie. I am alarmed.
I'll be a little alarmed.
Wow, very, very round. You're going to take 22 points of psychic damage. This is over the course of your rest. Roz, as you are resting, wearied from an exhausting day, fighting creatures unknown to you and their effects on your body. However, as you are resting, you have this moment, not dreaming, not having a nightmare, just in deep, deep sleep, when you are suddenly forced awake from this splitting headache, like somebody has struck you over the back of the head with the intent to kill you. You reach up and your nose is bleeding. It's completely covered the front of your face and mouth. And you sit there. And it subsides eventually. And when it does, you can't explain it. Not in a way that you think you could teach to someone else. But there is an arcane incantation in your mind for a spell. One that you can cast once per long rest of your choosing. So Go pick a first
Oh.
level wizard spell, and you can cast it once per long rest.
Oh.
Without
Okay.
without expending a spell slot. And if you had spell slots, you could then also cast it with those spell slots.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's being rewarded for reckless behavior, guys.
Are they still bad choices if you get good consequences?
Yes. Still a bad choice. Don't do this.
Yep. And allow me, just because I don't think it'll make a huge difference, you can expand that search of first level spells to wizard or warlock.
Neat.
Yeah. So take some time. Pick that. Otherwise, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just gonna move it to 6:30. Move it to 8:30. Well, because I realized I was just doing 8 hours from 8:30 the previous day. And I'm like, wait, no one's going to bed at 8:30 when you guys get there. Everyone was doing stuff. So I was like, oh, let me just keep scooting it to when then I'm like, oh, a lot of people aren't going to be up at 4:30 unless you're Lilith. So the next day has arrived. It is a balmy 23 degrees Celsius, high humidity, sticky, unpleasant. You're probably going to be dressing quite lightly today.
Oh yeah, Titan hates it.
Mm-hmm. But that being said, the new day has arrived. It is the 30th. You're getting very close to the end of the month. Is there how do people want to start their days? I know there are things people wish to do. I guess actually, let me make this easier. Who is spending the first part of their day or this whole first day crafting?
I mean, Titan will be crafting, but before he does that, he's going to trade in his meal ticket for a nice hearty breakfast.
Yep.
And as is his MO, he's going to bring along one of the kids from Greenwood.
Yeah, fair.
As part of his rotation.
Reasonable.
Share his meal with them.
There are plenty of kids to go around.
Yep. But then, yeah, crafting most of the day.
Okay. And what is the project of the day?
I'm going to continue to work on Roz's plate.
Okay. I think of which we were also keeping a running tally. At least I hope so, given that I completely forgot where we were.
We are 2 of 14.
Yeah.
So you're going to spend 8 hours today working on the plate mail?
Yep.
Okay. And then hang on, because inventor. So we double the amount of checks because you're doing things in half the amount of time.
We've already cut the number of checks I need to do in half.
We did. You are completely correct.
It's just I just need to do the 14 checks total.
Yep. Do you want to just knock those out right now?
Yeah. What do we do? Check every 2 hours, is that right?
Yeah, it's a check every 2 hours.
Okay.
So you're doing 4 today. DC 17.
Okay. I will. My stat.
It's proficiency plus strength plus D20.
Right.
Of which I think you have expertise. But that's a
that's
a you thing to worry about.
First one is a failure.
Okay.
Second one is another failure. No, not doing good today.
Jeez.
Titan's got something else on his mind. Oh, that makes up for it. A nat 20.
Nice. The rules for criticals.
And then another nat 20.
Wow. Yeah, that really was super swingy.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any bonuses for criticals. Although, Sam, could you correct me on that? Because I know you've read this document a lot more than I have.
There are no bonuses for criticals.
Okay. However, I'm going to say you're going to, at least this one time, since you managed to back-to-back crits at the end, I'm going to give you an additional success, basically making up for one of the losses.
Thanks.
So 3 successes out of the 4 today.
We're at 5 of 14. Yep.
Slowly but steady, we're getting there. Oh, and 5 silver for the forge fees.
Yeah. Okay.
Of which, Titan, you would note, given that you have to go over there, wait in the small queue to do it. You do see that there are other artisans there actively building new forges.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
Yeah, you see I dare use the term infrastructure, but you're starting to see infrastructure being developed.
It's exciting.
Okay, Titan's gonna be a busy boy in the forge today. You'll probably finish by around like 5:30 p.m., 6 p.m.
Okay.
So you
I'll
still have
think about my evening activities.
Yeah.
While we go to other people.
Yeah. Speaking of which, other people. Quinn, Sam, K.
Well, Roz has someone to go talk to, which might feel a little bit more pressing after taking enough damage to down half the party in her sleep. So I think Roz has been tucked back on her bedroll, holding her nose and just dissociated until the sun begins to rise, and she's pretty sure Bandit will be up, getting up, rushing out of the tent, and making her way to the White Cross while holding her hand over her bloody mouth and nose.
Didn't even clean up. Okay.
No, too panicked.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll several dice. Okay, yeah, in a very dramatic fashion, Roz, after the sun is high enough in the sky for a bit for your brain to finally acknowledge that activity in the camp person you probably want to see is available. Let's go. Do you even stop to like put on boots or anything, or are you like running there barefoot? Like how disassociated are we talking?
I think there are boots on. They're definitely not laced, so they're kind of flopping at the end of her feet.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Roz stumbles out of the tent a bit disheveled, face clasped on, or hand clasped onto her face, preempting any other additional blood loss. A couple of people very clearly notice this frantic person, running through your side of the camp to pass through the middle. And you're not really taking note of anybody until you get to the Connell side of the camp where the other mercenaries are. And you're running, you see the flapping banners of White Cross at the end of the lane. But because you're so focused on where you're going, you don't immediately notice that there's someone that steps out into the lane, and you kind of collide with them. You're knocked back onto your ass. And it could be enough to jar you to consider looking to see who it is you ran into.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Before you is a very tall, pale-skinned, not quite albino, because you can see there's a flush to his skin tone, but very, very pale. Pale blonde-haired, emerald green-eyed, 7-foot something humanoid. Someone you would call very classically handsome, strong jawline, like well-kempt, but an absolute mountain of a person. You run into them, you fall backwards on your butt because off balance, boots, a bunch of things. This person's still standing there unfazed. But very quickly they crouch down to offer you a hand back up.
I think in all of this, Roz has uncovered her mouth and has had to spit out some blood.
I was going to ask if you're all right, but you don't appear to be.
No, I was gonna go see Bandit actually.
Just come with me. Can you stand?
I'm fine. I can stand. You didn't do this.
Oh, I know I didn't. You didn't hit me that hard, but come on. Let's get you taken care of.
All right, thank you.
And he turns and wheels you into the Immortal Bastion camp.
Oh no.
This person walks with confidence and strength, and in such a way that no one could stop him from where he's going. After a couple of steps, Lucilla, need your help. And you see coming out of one of the side tents, throwing on her cloak, is Lucilla, the woman you met the other day. And there's a quick moment where you see she steps out of the tent. She's going to ask what this is about, and then quickly kind of clocks you, and then just the crimson streaking down the front of you. She comes running over, kind of in the similar state where you were, where you could tell she's like stopping to like hop into her boots, partway there. And eventually she arrives, panting. Oh my! What happened? Roz, are you okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm completely fine. I do a second wind right in front of her to try and act tough. Get 5 HP back.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we'll just use the 5 as a point of how well you did, which is to say, given what you could have rolled, not the best.
Could have been better.
Yeah, you don't look fine. Come over here. Have a seat.
Yeah, right.
And she walks you to one side of the training area and pulls out one of the the folding camping chairs and opens it up for you. Sit. Let me have a look at you.
Yep, whatever you say.
Lucius, if you'd be so kind, can you go get me some warm water and some clean rags, please? And you see this large man just nod, and he strides off to go do as he was asked. So you're fine, despite all of this. And she's got she has very quickly after that kind of like a hand on the side of your jaw to sort of like move your face around so she can inspect you.
No, I'm absolutely not fine. I don't know exactly what caused this, but I have a bit of a hunch.
All right, do you want to tell me what it is in case it's relevant to keeping you alive?
I came about 20 feet from a Merc portal yesterday, and I think it might be having some side effects.
Okay, that can happen from time to time. Did you have any direct contact with the portal? Did anything happen when you were near it? Did you experience any pain?
So I want to make it clear, Roz is lying in this moment. She knows what is causing this and is panicking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And she absolutely does not want Lucilla to know. I don't know how good her lie will be, though.
Roll a deception check.
13. Not great.
Good enough for now.
I didn't touch it. I did meet an Erider, and I got clawed up a bunch by little shadowy things.
Are you feeling weakened? Like, do you feel like your strength has waned at all?
Other than a bit of blood loss, I feel fine.
All right. This is all good signs. Nothing lasting. Don't have any wounds that need to heal yet. Nothing like that.
No, all the wounds from combat healed mostly after the battle, save a couple of scratches that are completely gone now. This happened in the middle of the night.
Did you have a dream? Or she kind of like rolls her head a bit. A vision?
I Not exactly, but sort of. I don't know how to describe it, I'm afraid. I felt like I'd been cracked in the head by a hammer and woke up with blood gushing out of my mouth and nose.
Okay, not exactly common. It's around this time Lucius has returned, with a small bucket of lightly steaming water. And Lucilla takes a rag, runs it through, wrings it out, and she begins, gently dabbing away the blood off your face. So, I've heard a little bit about dealings with Iridur before. There have been some that have said that side effects of having them affect your mind can cause something similar to this. Usually it means that they've taken something and left something behind. It'd be hard for you to know exactly what you're missing since, well, they would have taken it. Do you remember anything? At least feel like anything's missing?
No, there's nothing where I should have a memory and don't. I know all my friends, know my family, know how I feel about all of them.
Okay. Do you feel anything that is there that shouldn't be? Something foreign or strange?
Again, definitely a lie here, but
Mm-hmm.
no, nothing.
Give me another deception check.
You got it. 14.
Okay. You see Lucilla is listening to you very attentively, again cleaning the blood off your face, neck, collarbone, whatever, basically wherever it's soaked. And she's very gentle, very considerate. But then her brother standing behind her, again, absolute mountain of a man. You can tell there's a part during your speaking with her where his expression, unlike when you first ran into him, which was not hardened but not stern. But gentle isn't quite right either. It's considerate, I guess. He was worried about you having run into him. But now that you see him standing behind Lucilla, and who Lucilla can clearly not observe him, given her stance and stature with you in position, you can see that his facial expression has changed. It's hardened a bit.
Yeah, he knows.
If you're really worried about something, I have a ability to remove curses. I would have to spend a little time to go find an appropriate component to maybe remove anything that might be lingering. Again, you'd have to figure out what that is first, but I could do it.
Oh, okay. I appreciate the offer. Looking past Lucilla now at her brother, I don't know what that is exactly. I'll tell you as soon as I do.
Lucilla has a moment where she just stares at you with these huge doe-like green eyes. Okay, but as soon as you do, I want you to come back here immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
Might I recommend going and having a bath? You look like you've come from killing someone. Or eating them, more horrifyingly.
Oh, is it that bad?
Yeah, I mean, now that your head's cleared a bit, you look and yeah, you bled a considerable amount. 22 psychic points of damage worth.
Yeah, instantly exploding anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
A normal person is dead.
Twice.
Yeah, alright. I'll go have a bath. This is a weird time, but since I'm here, I was hoping that we could have that dinner at some point.
She instantly brightens up from the current, somewhat more tense conversation. Great. We could do that tonight if you and your friends are available for it. I know you all just came back from a mission, but if you're all willing, we would be glad to have you.
I'll ask him. Turn to the side, blow some blood out of her nose. And if I do, we'll see you there.
Great. Just come by our camp around supper time.
Great. I'll let you know either way. And
Perfect. She gives you a big beaming smile. It's almost like obnoxious how like bright and warm the smile is.
Roz will smile back at her genuinely and warmly and kind of look over her at her brother, and the smile, it doesn't drop, but it leaves her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Right, well, see you tonight then. And Roz will start heading out of the camp.
Mm-hmm. I'll see you out. And Lucius walks you to the entrance to the camp. It's quiet for the whole 90 seconds it takes to cross from the training grounds to the entrance. And when you get there, you could feel the prompting that's there to go. He's gonna say something. Do you wait or do you run?
Oh, no, we ran from the Merc portal. We're not running from this.
Okay. Yeah, so like I said, you feel this moment arrive. You kind of feel this prompting, this cosmic acknowledgement of something's coming. And when you turn to regard Lucius, again, this absolute hulking mountain of muscle, he's just staring you down. It's not menacing. You can tell he's taking measure of you. My sister spoke very highly of you.
She's a nice lady.
Yeah, she is. Consider, when you come back to the camp, not to lie to her next time. If that becomes a habit, you won't be welcome here.
I understand. But as soon as I figure it out, I'll let you know what it is. And I mean that this time. I'm scared and out of my depth. All right?
Then go find help.
That's the plan. Might see you tonight too, then.
You just might at that.
Alright, well, gonna walk away from him now that he said his piece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a heartbeat. And then when you turn to walk away, you realize he doesn't go back into the camp. He also turns and leaves in the other direction.
Okay. So does anyone else want to do anything?
Yeah. Quinn, okay.
Sure. Lilith is up bright and early. But she's going to wait for when Titan gets up to ask if he's already bought Weaver's tools, or if she's going to need to buy those.
Weaving's one of the few things I didn't pick up.
Got it. Shouldn't be too expensive. Good morning.
Good morning.
And off to the markets.
I feel like Titan should just make a sign of like all the various tools and sundries he has, just so people can reference it.
Between the two of them, they're gonna get like everything down at some point.
Okay. Lilith is off to market. To everyone's favorite Gildan Rose merchantry.
Time to get scammed.
Absolutely. Yeah, you get there. The small flea market like style arrangement of the long tarp covered booths with the larger central semi-permanent structure where the more luxurious and expensive goods await. But there is a segment of the outer stalls that belong to those that sell various tools and goods for various practices of skills, of which you would find Weaver's tools readily available. They are priced at a steep 5 silver pieces.
She'll pay for them. And while she's there, she's going to look for a bolt of cloth, 4 scraps of cloth, and a spool of thread.
So specific of you.
And she's specifically hoping the cloth is red.
Very specific of you. Gee, I wonder whatever for. Where is cloth under?
If you're looking for the price in the document,
Yeah.
cloth scraps are 1 copper piece, spools of thread are 1 copper piece, and bolts of cloth are 1 silver piece.
Okay. The bolt is going to be 5 silver. The scraps of cloth are going to be 3 bits each. And same for the spool of thread, 3 bits.
So 15 bits for those plus 5 silver. So 6 silver, 5 bits.
Basically.
She will pay for it.
Thank you for your patronage, ma'am. Is there anything else I can help find you today?
No, that'll be all. Thanks, though. Have a nice day.
Thank you for shopping with the Gildan Rose merchantry. We hope to see you again soon.
She hurries back to camp to get into her tent before Roz wakes up.
Yep. This was done extremely early in the morning. Okay. And what are you up to?
Surprise, she's making a cape.
Surprise, no way.
It takes 2 checks to make a cape. So she's probably going to be working on this for a while.
4 hours?
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, probably till about 10, 11.
Assuming she passes the DC 8 check with her +6 modifier.
You know, if you wanted to curse yourself, this is how you do it.
Shall I roll those now?
Yeah, let's get them out of the way.
Well, I almost cursed myself. First was a 9. It's a success.
Close, but yeah, success.
Second is an 18.
Yeah, sufficient. Making a cape?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice red cape.
Like, what kind of red are we talking? Or do you want me to tell you what kind of red you were able to buy?
She'd prefer like a dark blood red.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like very high saturation on the darker side red.
Something that casts a dramatic silhouette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how she's spending her morning.
Okay. Yeah. It is a very dramatic color. And after 4 hours or so, it will be successful. But okay, we've got your little first stint of the day. Audie, what are you doing?
Audie is going to get up
Yep.
and probably grab some food, kind of
Mm-hmm.
ease into the morning,
Yep.
and then gather some things and head to the seductress for her bath.
Okay. It is worth noting, when you stop by the Dusty Daisy for breakfast, as I'm assuming that's what you were doing, you haven't noticed it before because it's always been very like rush filled going in and out of that place because it's just how busy it is all the time. But this time in the morning, because you kind of sit and eat, you eventually notice that there are live musicians playing, compared to undead ones. To which
Do
you
we
eventually
get those often?
sometimes. It's not unheard of. That being said, you notice on the far side, the southern side of where the Dusty Daisy is built, there is an erected wooden platform. Honestly, not too dissimilar to what Covert's desk sits on, but this one's a bit more oblong in shape to allow slightly more accompaniment than a desk and a single person.
Any instruments around it?
Just the instruments the people are playing.
Okay.
Of which imagine today in particular is a bit of a bluegrass band. Very twangy.
Would Audie be able to like call someone over, or is she close enough to the bar she could like talk up?
The only way
there's a-
you can call to the bar is if you're sitting at it. So if you're sitting somewhere else, there are runners that are easily and purposely accessible to people sitting down.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Well, then I guess when she's able to draw the attention of a runner, she'll kind of call them over.
Yeah. Do me a favor, just roll percentile die.
One of these dice. Well, it's two of them actually. Ooh, well, that's a 91.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, you're sitting there enjoying your meal, listening to the music over the the buzzing din of this makeshift tavern. And eventually, when you see one of the runners identified by the green aprons with the embroidered daisy on them, same with the armbands they wear to be easy to identify in these large crowds, you hail one over, and you see them hustle your direction. And when they get there, and they look up and give you a smile, you realize it's Klein, one of Viren's sons. The older one, in case we all forgotten. Klein is the older of the two. He's 14. His younger brother is Bathan, one of the young boys that are currently involved in the anti-nausea sales of medicine at the teleportation gate.
As I say, I think we've seen Klein around here before, once or twice.
Yeah, Klein has been seen once here before. Yeah. But yeah, he sees you. He looks up. He looks like slightly. You can tell there's like a stature to him, or he was like a little diminutive when he originally approached. But when he realizes it's you see him loosen up a little. Audie, hey. What can I get for you?
Oh, I was just wondering what it matters to perform on the stage. Do you have to get special permission, or be in the good graces?
You just got to go talk to the owner.
Is that hard to do?
Not usually. She's almost always behind the bar. Tall lady, pointed ears, claws. She's a wildling. She's very hard to miss.
All right, thanks much.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that right after I finish then. Is
Okay.
settling in all right?
Getting used to it, yeah. Yeah. Me and Bat are keeping busy. Anything to try to, bring in some coin to help make everyone else's lives easier. Given that there are a bunch of kids that really can't do anything right now. So it's scary for them, so just trying to, provide some nice things for them.
Well, you're doing a good job.
Hmm?
I'm sure your dad's proud of you.
Yeah. Hopefully. He's been having a tough time of it as of late.
Could imagine so.
Hmm?
We saw a bit of what he saw. I could see why.
But you and the doc and Roz and Lilith and Corona, you're all doing great. There are people talking about you all in whispers while I'm running around here. You're making a name for yourselves.
Sometimes people get lucky.
Hmm?
Sometimes get hit from behind instead of hit from the front. We just got lucky, so.
I feel like it's not good to be hit either time.
Nah, but when you can see coming.
Right, that makes sense. Fair warning though. You guys should probably figure out a name for you all, because what people are calling you isn't exactly flattering, even though it's true.
What would that be?
They're calling you greenies because we're from Greenwood.
Yeah, but we're a bit wet
Yeah.
behind the ears too. It's not wrong.
Well, yeah, but it's one of those. I think if you don't get rid of the name, it's gonna stick. It doesn't exactly inspire confidence or any other various virtue hired soldiers want.
We'll work on it. I'll bring it up to the others.
Yeah. It would at least make me feel a little less embarrassed to be proud to proclaim that, I know you all.
Do you have any suggestions? We're not the most creative bunch.
I'll get back to you.
All right, you do that then.
Mm-hmm.
Get back to work then.
Yep. Thank you, ma'am.
And she gives him a bit of a smile and a pat on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm. There's a bark for an attention from a runner somewhere else, and you see him give you a nod, and he tucks his serving tray under his arm, and he lowers his head, and he rushes back into the crowd.
So after Audie finishes up, she is going to saunter up to the bar first, actually, before heading out, and try and catch the attention of the elusive Daisy.
Yeah. Roll the d6.
A 3.
A 3. So you don't initially. Initially, you go up to the bar and you're pretty instantly greeted by a bartender. This one, a dwarf, male, bald head, very intricately woven tri-braid beard that has several bits of iron jewelry that's gem-studded worked into it. White cotton shirt, suspenders, brown work slacks, boots. Comes up to you, lays a very heavy hand down on the wooden countertop. What can I get for you?
I was looking to talk to Daisy this morning, if I may.
Looking for the boss. All right, give me a second. And you see him, push through the other bartenders and barbacks that are back there, heading to the almost exact opposite side. And you can hear the dwarf's voice speaking, but it's noisy enough you can't hear any details. But then it isn't before long that you see a humanoid figure stalk over, and I say so in such a manner in that the fact that the wildlings share animal characteristics with certain different types, of which, as people refer to her as Daisy, the owner of the Dusty Daisy, shares wolf-like characteristics. Pointed ears, long legs meant for sprinting, claw-tipped fingers, sharp canines. This black fur trimmed in a bright, almost gold fur around at various edges. Comes up, kind of stretches up a bit, and then leans down to lessen her height in front of you. So I heard you were looking for me. And how can I be of service to you, young lady?
I was told if I wanted a chance to play on your stage there, I'd have to come talk to you.
That is true. And what can you do?
I sing mostly. I could play the piano, but you don't seem to have one of them.
No, not exactly something easy to carry around with us on a whim, but we could probably find one for you if you really wanted one. But a singer? We've had a few come and go. None have been particularly dazzling yet, but if you want your chance up there, you can. First time, no transaction. You're welcome to sing as long as we arrange a time for you to come and do so. And if you're a hit, you never have to exchange any money with us, and you get to keep all of your own tips.
That sounds reasonably fair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been doing mercenary work with some friends.
So I've heard.
Does that matter for the schedule?
So Audie's clearly very confident she'll be a hit, because of course she is.
You need to be here for when your allotted time happens. Essentially, in advance or earlier that day, come and speak to one of us. Me, if you can help it. And tell us a time of day you want to perform in. Morning, afternoon, evening, night. And we will put you in for that slot with the other talent, and you will be given a chance to perform. How does that sound?
That sounds quite fair. Do you have any time today, then? To prove myself?
We have need for people in the evening and nighttime, yeah.
Well, then, if there's place, I'll be back tonight. Back at home, I was used to performing in the late evening.
Do you have a preference? Fair warning, the late night crowd is a bit rowdier.
Rowdy to the performers, or just harder to place?
Oh, don't worry, the performers don't get harmed. Just, if you don't know anything about mercenaries or soldiers, is that after a long day of, running drills and being beat on, they want to let off some steam. So sometimes fights break out, sometimes they can say rude things. But if things get out of hand, well, they have to, deal with the bouncers.
Well, if they don't touch me, they can say whatever they like. I'll be fine with late evening.
Yes, no problem. Strictly against the rules, unless the performers wish to interact with the crowd. All right, and I'll put you down for the evening towards the end. And you see her reach down below the bar top and pull out a small notebook that she jots in and then stashes it back down below. I hope just using melody is fine.
Absolutely. Those know me call me Audie, but melody's probably a bit more formal.
Well, if there's nothing else, I have a bunch of other very insistent customers to go deal with.
Audie will give her like the two-fingered salute, just a bit of a wave.
Thank you kindly. Be back tonight.
See you tonight.
And yeah, she will head out and make her way over to the seductress.
Okay. And did you head on over? This is in the earlier part of the morning?
Yeah, I mean, I was picturing it kind of the. She probably would have had a bit of a lazy breakfast. I don't know, 9:30, 10.
Okay, pretty late.
So mid morning.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're passing through the center slash of the camp. You walk by the desk where Covert is currently behind it, speaking to somebody from the chapter of fire, judging by their red, orange, and gold attire.
Mm-hmm.
You sort of pass by, just unnoticed.
She doesn't believe for a second she's unnoticed, but sure.
Yeah. She's welcome to believe whatever she wants.
She thinks Covert sees everything.
And it isn't before long that you arrive at the seductress, the pitch black tent trimmed in red, with the sandwich board sign out front, welcoming you to the Ivory Seductress, and to enter at your pleasure.
Yeah, she would, without hesitation, just kind of step in as if she was entering any shop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you pass through the threshold, kind of stepping through the space that is languid and heavy, briefly popping out on the other side. Where your eyes adjust to the darkness of the interior from the stark light of the outside. And you are back in the central lobby, where there are 2 curtained hallways and a single wooden podium, which stands behind, seemingly every time, the silver-haired elf Valwyr. Lady Melody, it's good to see you again.
Morning, Valor. Glad to see the same.
What services could I interest you in today?
Well, to start, I'm looking for a bed.
Very well. You know the questions by now?
Actually, it is my first time here. Recall my ma did it the first time.
Fair point. Allow me to lead you through them then. And he comes around the side with a small wooden clipboard that essentially has a list of checkboxes and questions. And he'll lead you through the same thing that everyone else has gone through at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Any highlights? Any scent choices?
I was actually just looking because I had made a note before and I can't find it. But she would probably look for something. Probably. Probably something. Being that it's morning, something a bit more spiced. There's a smell I'm thinking of, but I can't remember it. I don't know if it's like a sandalwood kind of thing, like that.
Could
like
be
foresty.
Could do like a sandalwood clove.
Yeah.
Maybe a little pine mixed in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure, no problem. And then at the very end, there was a request as to which courtesan will be your escort, if you have a preference, and if not a preference, a vibe.
And it's probably the first time. I mean, Valor hasn't seen Audie too much, but it's as close to uncertain as she's probably ever looked. I'm saying that I don't know any of those that are underemployed here.
Well, we pride ourselves in having somebody for everybody, which is why if you have a particular preference or perhaps a mood, if you want someone motherly to care for you, if you want someone that will be abrupt and honest with you, if you want someone that will be gentle and considerate.
And she'll kind of look up from thinking and try and be as serious as she can.
Valor, I feel like I almost watched my best friend die. At least on the inside, just a little bit. I don't know what fits that. I want to feel a little bit alive, without ever feeling like there's any danger of attachment. Does that make sense to you?
He gives you a look and a nod that tells you he does understand. I believe I know the person you would like, if I may.
And she instantly bounces right back into her, like, bouncing smiles.
Wonderful then.
Perfect.
I trust your judgment.
It is appreciated. Now, if you'll follow me, I'll take you to the changing room. And as before, with all the other party members, Audie will be led through the right curtain. You'll pass through the threshold, entering into a change room with many open-doored lockers, a stack of towels and clean linens off to the side, robes folded neatly, waiting for people to take them, along with various drawers in which to leave your clothes behind to either be laundered or to be awaiting you upon your return. And once Valwyr has explained everything within the room, he will tell you that in approximately 5 minutes' time, a courtesan will be there to take you to your bath.
Very well then.
Enjoy. And he gives a he gives a like a 60% bow, and then we'll turn.
I'd return it in kind.
Fair. He will turn and depart with a grace that is natural to elves, leaving you alone to be prepared and readied for your bath. And whoever is to come to take you there. But we are at our time where we're going to take our mid-session break. When we come back, who knows? But we'll be right back. See you in 10 minutes. 3, 1. We're back. Everything's working. Yep, mic is good. Yep, music, fine. Yep, people on Discord.
Me.
Perfect.
Hello.
Yeah, I just needed one person to say something to check the audio, but yeah, everyone's good. Hey, welcome back. We're here. Let's finish out Audie's scene, because it feels like it didn't quite finish, where there's still a spot in which Audie can jump from. So we're gonna go back to the Ivory Seductress in the changing room, where Audie is getting ready to go have her bath. And after a few minutes, Audie, you have a courtesan enter from the south side of the room. The side you came in from. This individual is Doreen. They're for Doreen, not quite as tall as average, but still quite tall compared to most humanoids, and they're about 6 feet. They have a bit more of a feminine figure, although Doreen don't really function in terms of normal gender norms. Their coloration, which tends to be a bigger representative nature of a Doreen, is predominantly like a yellow lime green with accents of a very bright pink. Kind of think like a What is that fruit? Someone please help me. It's a fruit
Like
that
a
I'm
dragon fruit?
Yes, like a dragon fruit. Not even a hard thing to think about. Yeah, just, the extreme, so the outside of a dragon fruit might not be quite as bright, but, the interior purple of a dragon fruit, kind of like that. Very, very vibrant. They come walking in, sharing a similar grace to Valwyr, and that their movements are quite liquid and smooth. And when they enter into the space, Adi, you immediately feel kind of just on the forefront of your mind, slowly working its way to the back. Almost like this desire or enjoyment you would get from listening to music, although there is no music being played. They would approach you and extend out both hands. Ani, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Muse in the Chaos. You can just call me Muse.
Pleasure to meet you.
So the most important thing for you to do while you're here, Adi, is that you need to first relax. I'm going to take you to your bath now. Is that all right?
Absolutely. Lead the way.
Very good. And very assertively, she takes your hand in hers. And then we'll walk you through the threshold on the other side. To which you are taken into a beautiful black marble bathing room trimmed in gold. A large brass tub as they're filled with steaming waters. You immediately catch the initial tail end of the scent profile you've selected for yourself. A slightly spicy, slightly woody combination of sandalwood and clove and pine. And you find, much in the way that interacting with Doreen can be, especially given your experience so far in the camp, is that you realize, never really having spent any extended amount of time amongst Doreen, because there were a couple of half Doreens in Greenwood, but there were no full-blooded ones. And so, much in this way, you're now coming to realize that they have this way of interacting with people that is not verbal or physical, but in a mental way, and that they tend to impress a specific type of emotion, or can, much in the way when Bandit helped awaken your magic. Muse in the Chaos is similarly radiating this gentle energy that is encouraging to want to act. Like, as I said, it's like wanting to dance but with no music. I said she's extremely assertive, and that she will guide you to certain places, help you disrobe, help you get into the bath, help you get comfortable, attend to your hair, brush it, clean it, wash it, eventually helping you pin it up, maybe even spending a little time with a vanity mirror and seeing what your hair looks like in different styles, because they offer a styling service here at the Seductress as well. Should Audie wish to, tame her wild head of hair.
Ever want to? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But after a little bit of time spent just enjoying the bath and the oils and the presence and the contact, there's just a quiet moment of where Muse will kind of from behind you off to the side will kind of crane around your side and make eye contact with you.
Mm-hmm.
Audie, is there anything you wanted to talk about? Or are you just here to not forget, but set it aside for now?
And Audie gives a bit of a smirk.
The answer to that question really depends on how deep of an answer you want. Came back from a mission, had a friend consider going to a portal back to the Merc. Thought I was going to lose one of my best friends. Promise safe passage or not, don't really believe that all the time.
Harrowing, to say the least. And your friend is fine now?
She gets this broad smirk.
I haven't checked in yet. I suppose I'm a bit selfish that way.
Yes, but she came back to the camp with you.
She did, yeah.
So she is at least alive.
She's alive, yeah.
It's good. Have you had a chance to speak with your friend about how you feel?
No, not yet.
Do you...
She's not really one for words. I mean, she is one for words, but I'm afraid if I, if I worry too much, she might just kind of scoff at it.
That isn't fair to you, Audie.
And Audie kind of gives a... The only way I can describe it is almost like a pitying look. Like, it's not meant to be condescending, but like, kind of like the, come on now.
Well, yeah, but life quite often isn't fair to those that try to comfort their friends. We don't really get to show them that, do we? And maybe you do.
And why
Very
not?
lucky if you do. It seems to burden him. They start worrying about you.
I don't wish to sound like an echo in a cave, but that still doesn't sound fair to you, Audie. For you to feel everything that you feel and then believe that you have to not share it. I think it is a gift that we can give to those that we care about to express our feelings for them. Even if sometimes they're negative, but in this case, concern, love, frustration. I think you'd be doing yourself and your friend a disservice by not sharing that with them.
You think you can overshare?
At first, yes. Given that so far it sounds like your relationship with your friend has had a distinct lack of sharing. In which case, too much at once could be overwhelming. So you have to start somewhere. Smaller. Perhaps taking the most important part about what you're feeling now and sharing just that. Sometimes it is the complexities of the things that we feel that are our responsibility to deal with. But it is good to hear from those that we spend time with that they care.
I'd have to think about how to say it rightly then. Wouldn't want to make matters worse.
But don't allow that deliberation to paralyze you, into paralyzing you from saying it. The reason why you have that fear now is because of a time in which we are currently living where it is not certain if our friends and loved ones are always going to be there to hear the words that we didn't get to share with them. Perhaps would you like to practice with me? What you would like to say?
I certainly try that. And not quite fair to you, though. Whereas is a bit of a bit of a strange one to mimic, in the best of ways.
I could do my best. If it would perhaps help you, I could appear to be your friend for a time. Maybe just the visual stimulation will help you get in the right mindset.
It really does come down to fear, though. I just don't want her to get the wrong idea. Been accused of that before. Not from her, but just accused of it. People think you're something you're not.
Well, I found the only way to remove anybody's uncertainty as to what you are is to tell them what you are.
I think I can do that. There's one thing she's never done is judged me for that.
Well, it sounds like you have a good place to start.
Indeed I do.
Do you like music, Audie?
It seemed like melody. I think it's a bit on the nose, but yeah.
Hmm?
I love to sing. Going to be singing at the Daisy a bit later today, actually. Quite excited about it. Haven't really sang since I left Greenwood.
Sounds like a good opportunity for you. Perhaps I'll even come and watch. Listen.
Be nice to just burst into cloud.
Well, one
Nice.
amongst many.
I turned the tables on you for a moment and asked you a question.
Be my guest.
Do you like being a courtesan?
Yes, I do.
How do you even start? Maybe that's a question I should be petitioning the Lady Riesling for.
Starting here, that is the correct place to begin. As is probably the correct way, really, at any other establishment that isn't your own.
I'm not lucky to be hired, but in the other towns, the merchants, they always. Some places they almost look down on it, but just to be able to connect with other people, to learn about them, to
and she kind of wiggles her hands in front of her like there's something she can't quite touch, but it's
Mhm.
just out of reach.
to kind of feel how the fates interact with people. Know them for a moment, know them for a lifetime, doesn't really matter. But I just don't know if I'm being too ideal about it, that's all.
If I may be completely honest with you, Melody,
Of course.
perhaps and unsurprisingly, it is different for everybody. I have found it largely determines your gifts. But much to that reason, many that pursue this trade and pursue this craft get out of it what they want because of their gifts. Much like myself, I don't share a too dissimilar desire that you have. I like to see people, I like to see their passions, I like to know where they're from and what they've done, and the things that have led them to be where they are. And I like to see the small little ripples on the lake that they represent. And then all the other little ripples that they've come into contact with. To see the whole wide, glassy surface shake and shiver. To express the ever-changing world in which we live in, and how each and every one can change it. So, no, I don't think it's too idyllic. And there's nothing wrong with romanticizing it a little. And ever since we have received divine protection, it's certainly a profession that many more people have sought after when they realized it was something, there was something they could get from it, and now could do so safely.
Prompted answer.
She nods.
Audie looks almost like a little embarrassed for a moment.
My dad always would tell me stories about how the bears were before. I never lived it myself. But I remember I've heard stories in my dreams about the black butterfly and how things were before. I'm enamored so much with the fates. But I think there's a place they can blend in a little bit.
Perhaps that is the most interesting thing I've been able to experience in all of my time doing this job. Everybody has a very different and unique take on what they believe the gods do for them in the world. And if you believe that there can be a mix of how things work and how they used to be and what they are now, well, you'll find that your faith will go a long way to making that true.
And a question, I guess, back to you again. Do you like music?
I do very much. something that's always been a part of my life. And in a sense, the world in which I see it has its own song. Each person has their own song, their own music that they make by being a part of the world. And I can hear each person's song. So to more flatly answer your question, yes, it is a beloved part of my life.
You seem aptly named. You have quite a talent to get inside someone's head. Quite like a muse yourself.
That is how we acquire our names after we've grown out of our youth. We have a defining moment, and it is in that moment that we choose our name for ourselves. Just so happens I am well suited to inspiring others. And that suits me well for this profession. Would you like another meeting arranged with Lady Riesland?
I would, but I understand she's a very busy lady. I'm in no rush, but it is it is something I'd like, yeah. I'd mentioned it to Valmir a couple of days ago as well.
You did. I will be sure to mention it. But I would say, Audie, if you really wanted that, if you really desired it, much in the way that you've been afraid to share how you feel with your friends, you should selfishly, unabashedly ask.
And Patty gets this like small blush, like she's smiling. That's just like squirming a bit. Like it's just filling her up. Because she's realizing while she's always been supported by her family, no one's ever pushed her, right? And so it's this feeling of like pride almost. She's like, oh, this is encouragement. And it's different than the sort of encouragement that like Roz would give her. Like, yeah. And so she's kind of reveling in it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Then to start, if I may, I'm going to selfishly and unabashedly ask if you would dance with me and sing with me.
And she picks up the hand has been like wrapped around her shoulders or playing with her hair and start kissing her fingertips.
And simply just enjoy the time remaining.
Come, Audie. Let us make some music. And scene. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the camp, Roz, stumbling down the track.
Yeah, well,
definitely not okay.
Roz has more HP than she did before. 5 more, in fact. But she has been. It has been recommended to her that she go wash her fucking face. So that is where she's going before she goes to get counsel.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, Lucilla did a good job of cleaning most of it, like, that was off your nose and your mouth, but, like, you know, the edges that are just a little bit encrusted, that were stubborn. Yeah. So I mean, you could walk down to the river to go go dunk your head in it if you wanted. You could go to the bar and ask for a bowl full of water. Or you could go find a water barrel, which are just kind of dotted along the camp, and also dunk your head in that.
Roz is not rude enough to ruin everybody's water. I think it's a good moment actually to go to the river and be alone for a minute before
Fair.
she goes off to see Bandit.
Yeah, okay. You can go down the river, find a little segment of it that, you know, doesn't have anybody within earshot, and just kind of, you know, take that as your own little space.
Yeah. Pull up some water, rub it off her face, look down the river, see her own reflection. I really hope that Bandit tells you you're not a fucking coward. But I think he'd be wrong, wouldn't he? Get up, walk away, go get that therapy.
Okay. Yeah, you've scrubbed yourself clean of the blood, probably mostly. Yeah. Scrubbed it out that was staining the front of your shirt. Cleaned up to the best of your abilities.
Yeah, a little bit.
You'll head back through the heart of the camp. Head back down the track to go towards the White Cross Company, where there are 2 of the soldiers on sentry duty. Where are you heading to?
I'm here to see Bandit. If he's about.
Currently on the training fields.
All right, well, I can be patient, I suppose.
Yeah, if you just go there and wait your turn, you'll get a chance to speak to him.
Will do. Thank you. Well, I'll head on in, go find the training fields.
Yeah, like I said, you go in, hang a left. The whole, like, northern side of the White Cross Company camp is just a football field of various sections set up to different types of training, with racks of weapons, training armor, fully included with water boys and food runners. And at any given point in time, every time you've been here, the White Cross Company training field has always been busy. The least amount of people you've ever seen here, even just walking by to go on a mission through the teleportation gate, because the White Cross Company camp is on the tail end of this camp, so it's right next to the platform. They've at least, you know, the least you've ever seen here is like 50 people. The busiest time you've seen here was about 150. That was shortly after the boom from when you guys returned from your first mission. There was a bit of a small line organized by one of the White Cross Company members, who's walking around with a clipboard, kind of taking stock of people who come in groups, different needs and wants. Eventually, they'll sidle up next to you, kind of look up. What are you here for today?
Counsel.
Okay. Are you looking for someone in particular?
I was hoping to talk to Bandit, actually.
All right. You see him stop, kind of run a finger down the clipboard. If you can wait about 45 minutes to an hour, you'll be free up.
Sure. I can wait an hour.
You see this guy nod a few times, doesn't say anything, and then just keeps walking on down the line. There is a waiting area that has cover and chairs and tables and cold water. So you're not just standing there in the hot, balmy weather.
Well, thank goodness, because Roz needs something to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean just there in the waiting tent, the rest tent even, because it serves both purposes. There are people just who don't know how long they'll be waiting. There are people there playing cards, some throwing dice, just passing the time, having fun. A cursory glance tells you there's no high stakes betting going on. You're seeing just a couple of bits, like per pot kind of thing.
Great. Roz will get involved if they'll allow her. Sit down. Can I get in on these hands? I got an hour to wait.
Yeah, sure. Sit, grab a seat.
All right, let's lose some money.
For the sake of this, just throw a d20. I'm gonna throw the similar amount.
2.
Yeah. Unfortunately for you, Roz, you do not manage to take anything away. You instead lose. Roll the d6.
Oh crap! 6.
6 whole bits.
Oh crap!
Crazy. But the time goes by. The company is decent enough. The 3 others that you're playing cards with are amiable. Other refugees that have come from different parts of northern Kendrasa, Azale, and some that have been displaced from the war, taking over their duchies in Belwind. I said nice enough people. Know how to gamble and, not take it too seriously. But it isn't before long that you're interrupted. Approaching the table in such a manner that is easy to be observed, Bandit approaches you. Roz, I heard you were looking for me.
Yes. Yes. I fold. Here's my money. Get up from the table. I wanted to talk to you. Just talk about my last mission, if I might.
Yes, of course. Come with me. I'll take you someplace quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. He hands clasped behind his back will slowly walk you towards the other side of the camp, and take you into a small single person tent. It's got a cot, a single table with 2 chairs next to it, a small bookshelf on the other opposing empty wall. He will gesture to an empty seat. Go over to the bookshelf where the lower half are cabinets. Open them up. Pull out a pair of tin cups and a pitcher, and come over and set them on the table. And he will pour from the pitcher what appears to be something red and a bit fruity. Smells like wine.
Perfect.
All right, Roswin. What is it you wish to speak about? Tell me about your last mission.
All right. So the long and short of it is, we went on the mission, one of the lower ranked missions, to go see about the wolves menacing that farm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that at that farm was a portal to the Merc that we found, and somewhere in the middle here of finding the portal to the Merc and arriving to do our mission, we met an Erider, and I gave it a secret of mine, I think, in exchange for power. And I have no idea what the power is, or what the secret was, how to feel about it. I also, after making the deal with the Erider, was apparently going to be allowed to walk into the portal and get safe passage, meet the Erider's master, and I maybe even close the portal. And now I'm feeling all kinds of mixed up about it. I should have mentioned before doing this. Can you please not tell anyone about this? I'm hoping for confidentiality.
He reaches forward and in a very gentle, grandfather-like manner pats her hand, and then makes a point of, with his other hand, moving the cup of wine into it.
Slugged.
Mm. He refills it immediately. I will say nothing to anyone else, Roswin. Don't worry about it. As for everything that happened, I can tell you're feeling uncertain. I can tell you are feeling a bit panicked. Is that all you're feeling about it?
No. No, I wanted to come here before the last night. I woke up with a splitting headache, felt like I've been hit in the head with a mace. But that's actually, I wanted to come here before that because I got told that I could go through that portal, thought maybe I could close it, and I decided not to. I know how everyone else in my party feels about it, and I think that they're being very prudent and wise about it. But something in me still feels like turning away was the wrong thing to do, and I wanted a more arbitrary or neutral opinion on the matter. Was it wrong to turn away?
Roz, have you fought in many wars?
Nair,
Have you taken many lives?
not many.
Have you had to kill monsters before?
Within the last week, and that's it.
Then I believe it was the best choice for you not to go through the portal. Because the things you would have experienced on the other side, even if you were promised protection, would still be worse than anything you've had to do thus far.
All right. In your opinion, then, it wasn't cowardice to turn away and let someone more capable and experienced handle it, even if I could have done it.
I don't believe it was cowardice, no. I do believe there was a chance that you could have been the one to close the portal. But I also do believe there was a chance that had you done it, you might not have come back out. There is also a chance that those sent to close the portal might end up having casualties as a result of trying.
But that's not worth it, right? See, I managed to close it and I was stuck on the other side, and that's that. One casualty, right? A tragedy. But another group goes and it takes a score of them, and half of them die in the process. That's not worth it just for one, just for me.
He sips from the tin cup. He's listening. You can see like his head kind of bobbing. Roz, you are in a very difficult place right now. Literally. Having to exist within this camp with the objectives that we have is never going to be easy or simple. And those that go to do things with the understanding of what it is they're walking into, like yourself, understand the risks they are taking. If you could carry this burden by yourself, I'm sure you would try. But there are just as many others that want to share that weight.
That's awful. That's absolutely awful.
He nods solemnly.
It's easier to just make the sacrifice myself instead of letting someone else do it, I guess.
Perhaps. But also consider this. In the scenario that you are currently facing, you have walked away and brought back pertinent information about something extremely dangerous that we didn't have before. If I recall correctly, the ones that went there prior to your group were also from Greenwood, correct?
That's right.
Now imagine, because they had gone there first, if they had been in your position, and they attempted to close the portal. Would you and your friends then still go, knowing that the portal is there? Do you think you would even be allowed to go?
No. No, I think it'd be left in more capable hands.
And who decides those capable hands?
Covert, I think. Our commanding officer.
Do you trust him enough to make those decisions wisely?
I guess so.
Then now imagine the circumstance in which you've brought back this information that was not previously held. And instead of risking your life and the lives of your friends over a what if, Covert can now make a decision that will send someone there and reduce the likeliness of any lost life.
Well, I see why Covert sent you to me or sent me to you of all people, considering they're actually helping.
He gives you a smile.
There's one other thing I wanted to talk about, though. The deal I made with the Eritor. Something's happened. When I woke up, like I said, felt like I've been cracked in the skull.
Mm-hmm.
There's something in there. It's like a heat in the back of my head that I'm not sure how to get out.
Iridir at the worst, only take. Iridir at their best, take and leave something else in its place. If you came to an arrangement with it, whatever it is you gave, it gave something back in return.
Do you think it was a bad idea to make that deal? So, I'm not so sure.
I personally value my experiences. I couldn't see myself trading anything to an Iridir. But there are those that believe something they can offer that has no value to them, but could have a value to the Iridir, or they could trade to receive something in exchange for. I can't say that it is always right to do so, but there are those that are willing to take the risk.
How very, I don't know, kid, do you think it was right? Probably not. Or probably so, of you.
You'll have an answer when you figured out what it is that was given to you.
We'll find out as soon as I figure out even what it kind of could be. How nebulous. Probably should have fucking asked.
It probably would have wanted something else in exchange for a more specific answer.
You're right. I hate that little bitch.
Yes, the Iridir have a mannerism about them.
Oh, everything's transactional with the little bastard. Can't even get a hello in return without giving it something.
It is their nature. It is how they were made.
Greedy little shit.
Pray you never meet those tainted by greed. By comparison, they are far worse.
Well, I do want to say legitimately thank you. This has actually been enlightening and good, I think, for me. I still need to go wash the stink of river and fighting shadows out of my everything. But if I have problems like this again in the future, can I come to you, or is there someone else I should go to that you'd recommend?
I will always be happy to receive you, Roz, and offer wisdom. It would be wasteful for me to have lived this long and me not share it. But if I do believe someone else would be better suited to one of your problems, I would send you in their direction.
All right. Well, then, I think I got everything I needed. Roz is gonna take that tin cup, pour the rest of it back, get her buzz going, and stand up. Thank you again. I'm gonna go and ask all my friends if they want to go to a dinner tonight.
It sounds nice. Roz, before you go, and you may decline, would you like a hug?
Yeah, I like hugs.
And he gets up, and you're reminded that Bandit, despite his age, is still a Doreen and therefore quite tall. But Doreen are also weirdly flexible, and they have a couple more joints than other humanoids in that. So he has this perfect mannerism of being able to get down to just your height, and then has a very encompassing hug. And it is warm and comforting and quiet. Just kind of like in the eye of a storm. You just know there you're safe.
This feels like a soft blanket. You give the best hugs.
I have had much practice. But go on, go see your friends, enjoy your dinner. Feel free to stop by anytime. I'm more available in the evenings than I am during the afternoons, for what it is worth.
I'll bear that in mind. Cheers, and I'll see you next time, hopefully with better news and a better outlook.
Hopefully. Have a good day, Roz.
You as well, Bandit. And Roz will head out.
Mm-hmm. Smash cut the Lilith in her tent.
Yeah.
It's boiling. But the cape, it's finished.
folds it, tucks it away. And she is going to go get an early lunch to hopefully beat the crowd.
Fair. You're disappointed when you get there to realize that brunch is also very popular.
Darn.
They also serve mimosas around this time. But
Well, she's not interested in getting day drunk. Not today, at least.
Not today, at least. But yeah, you can go to the Daisy and get a meal.
Mm-hmm. Just while she's there eating, she'll kind of say in her head, "Hey, Callista,
Yes.
you mentioned being able to substitute my blood for ink.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that substitution would work for things other than scrolls?"
It really depends on what it is you're trying to do.
Something like rune carving?
Not my specialty, but I'm sure there's an application that could be figured out. You wouldn't believe how flexible blood is when it comes to magic.
Get the feeling that I'll learn.
Oh, you're gonna.
Sounds like a threat.
Well, you want to bleed, so it's mildly appropriate.
Well, guess I know what I'm spending my afternoon doing then.
Bleeding or rune carving?
Yes.
Give me a good afternoon. All right. You go get a meal, and then you head back to your tent.
Yep.
What is Lilith's intention?
She's going to ask Callista to guide her through the process of turning her blood into a reagent for ink.
Yeah. You find with Callista's help that the difference between scroll writing and rune carving, when it comes to requiring a magical ink as a reagent, is pretty much 1-for-1. It's more of how you're using it, the application that's different, but the turning blood to magic for ink, fairly simple. So if you wanted to make a light rune, for instance, you could.
Yeah. She is going to attempt to create a color rune because she's doing the academic tradition.
Ooh. Scrolling. Yes, I see. All right, sure. Make a check. What tools are you using?
Her calligrapher's tools.
Oh. Okay.
Because she's a nerd, and that's one of her proficiencies, not one of the ones she swapped out.
Yeah. Not one that was inherited. It's a personal thing. Okay. Yeah, calligraphers plus intelligence mod. The DC to beat is a 13.
I got a 16.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, after
She's putting it on the cloak.
Ah. Are you setting it in like as like a little like a little cloak pen kind of thing?
Yeah.
Neat.
Nice little embellishment.
Yeah. Like I said, you spend a little bit of time with Callista as she explains the blood to magic ink concept, which is fairly simple. It's more of being patient to properly extract your own blood so that way you don't do anything stupid like cutting yourself too deeply. Things of that nature. You convert the blood to ink. And then after you with your your proficiency, explain to Callista a bit about the rune carving nature with calligrapher's tools, she very quickly understands the one-to-one usage between the two. Yeah, and you're able to create it and affix it to the cape. Does affixing it to the cape require a check, or is it just one you do it?
I'm not sure.
Let's see.
I think you just do it.
Placing a rune. You can place a rune. You can place a rune on a non-magical weapon, set of armor, or item. When you place a rune on an item, it requires attunement. So it has attunement now. Keep that in mind. When a creature is attuned to it, the rune grants the wielder certain benefits as defined by the rune. An item becomes a magical item, or the rarity of the rune becomes the rarity of the rune placed on it. Yeah, no, you just do.
So
wait, no, hang on, I lied. Runes on magical items. Placing a rune on a magical item. Oh, never mind. That's placing a rune on an already magical item.
So the cloak is now a common magical item that can be attuned to and just change color, and that's an action.
Neat.
Which she is going to attune to, because what is the best way to hide a present than just wearing it yourself?
Wear it, and you're suddenly just walking around with this dark, like navy blue cloak.
Yep, she's absolutely going to change it to match her hair color.
Yep. Honestly, awful choice. Not the color, just the choice to wear a cape in this weather.
Yeah, she's not going to be wearing. She's going to wear it for like 30 minutes, realize how hot it is today, and just take it off.
It's like me when I was in high school and I wore hoodies during the summer in Florida, and it's just like, nope, I made this choice. I'm going to die in it. Okay, well, I mean, 2 more hours have passed. It's probably about 3 p.m. for you, Lilith. Are you going anywhere? Anything else to do?
I suppose the question is, with that being her first time using her blood like that, how does she feel after?
A little drained. But Callista leads you through the proper steps to make sure that no harm comes to yourself. So you had water on hand. The meal that you had before doing this was a proper step. And then she would likewise tell you to probably go find something to snack on. Following it, fruit preferably.
Right. She'll kind of just go out and begin wandering, try to find something to munch on.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of ask Callista and Bellathor if there's anything in particular they want to check out for the day.
That was a good question. Callista says she wouldn't mind going to the merchantry to see if they have any pretty dresses or makeup. But then laments the fact that she can't wear or use any of it.
Lilith will lament the fact that if she's trying to get makeup or pretty dresses there, she probably doesn't have enough silver.
And you remind her that she also has no silver, because she is a ghost. She is further saddened. Bellathor has a simple request, which is he would just like a walk in the nearby forest. Or south of the camp along the river. Basically anywhere to just get a little breath of fresh air and to be around nature.
Yeah, Lilith is happy to oblige that. She'll grab a short bow and a handful of arrows just in case something pops up, but she's pretty sure she'll be fine.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go hunting.
No, she's not looking to catch any game, but if something like stumbles across her path, she might grab it for the camp.
Roll me a percentile die. For the sake of it.
$35.
Okay. Yeah, you go for a stroll. You don't come across anything of particular interest that looks worthwhile to hunt. There's some birds, fluttering by, playing in the trees. An occasional, critter that you see skitter across the trunk of a tree, but nothing really worthwhile. And you're grateful to be out, outside. There's a good cross breeze that's coming in off the ocean, so it's keeping you cool. Meanwhile, Bellathor is just absolutely just talking your ear off about every type of plant that you see as you're walking along. Most of which aren't particularly useful for alchemy, but are just interesting to talk about.
Lilith is happy to listen and learn while she's like walking like just inside the boundary of the forest to keep in the shade.
Mm-hmm.
Not that the shade does much in this humid weather.
Not much, no. I mean, it does provide a little reprieve from the direct sunlight, which is a bit strong right now. Brutal, and if you were without any cover. During your walk, how long does Lilith go out for a walk? Like, how long is this little endeavor of hers?
She wants to be back by like 4 o'clock so that she can go get a nice bath. So
about an hour.
However long that is.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say about an hour. Like I said, it's nice, it's peaceful. You see that there are a couple of other people who are likewise kind of doing a similar thing that are just sort of out there walking along the trees. Some of which look like, refugees from the west side of the camp, from the Lyra side of the camp. Others look like they're equipped soldiers, probably out on patrols. But everyone's just kind of keeping to their own. During this time, you do find out an interesting dynamic between Callista and Bellathor. In that Callista has developed a bit of a habit of inquiring of Bellathor about plants that might not have alchemical purposes, but if they could be used to be refined into various types of colors for makeups or paints. And they seem to have a pretty good rapport about that.
Lilith is glad to just hear them being somewhat happy considering circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
If they point one out that they find particularly interesting, she'll be happy to pick it.
Roll me another percentile die.
85.
Okay, pretty good. Roll me a d10.
3.
You find a plant that is, when properly refined, which Bellathor understands how to do, creates a very bright, vibrant yellow color.
She'll with Bellathor's guidance, even if he's currently not, the front and center spirit that she's attuned to.
Mm-hmm.
Just pick it and stow it away.
Yeah, he tries to offer as much assistance as he can, but the deftness in which to extract it isn't there because, as you said, he is not the current connected ghost. An hour passes by and you go back to camp. Mm-hmm.
And she is heading to the Ivory Seductress.
Ah, yes. Seems as if many people are, because I think that's where Roz was also heading.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let me go clarify one other thing, because it's been quite some time. Audie, you went in relatively early.
Did.
Other than bath and companion services, was there anything else you were doing in the Seductress?
No, that would have been it. Again, on our way out, she would make mention again to Valware, having just been given the advice to be a little more forceful in what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
that she would ask again of Lady Riesland, or if there was a way to make an appointment, even if that appointment would be 2 weeks in the future.
Valwyr says there is a date book, and he will pull out from a lower part of the podium and turn it around for you. Sign your name into a time slot, and you can see the lady on that day and time. There is a time slot as soon as tomorrow.
Oh.
And basically, imagine slots are done in hour increments.
Mm-hmm.
There's more or less a slot during like every section of the day. Morning, afternoon, evening, night.
Okay. She'll place her name down in the morning. Not that she thinks we're gonna run off to a mission, but knowing as that tomorrow is as soon as the next mission would possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
So she'd select sometime in the morning.
Okay. Okay. You would be leaving prior to Lilith and Roz arriving.
Okay.
So I suppose I should ask, where was Audie going after this?
After this, she would probably go check in with her mom.
Okay.
And Lotus, and basically the Greenwood residents, see if anybody needs anything, any help, any runners, and barring that, she would then go to make her way towards Whitecross to probably do some more training, either in magic or physical training, depending on who's available.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, the Greenwood camp is always active. People are, again, trying to make a new life for themselves here for while they're here. You do find that Corona is likewise doing a similar thing for most of today, which is helping those people in and around the camp. And so your need to be here isn't as high as it could be as other days, but you can spend some time helping, and then make your way off to the Whitecross company camp. In which case, I would probably have you cross paths with Roz as she's coming from the Whitecross company camp.
Why, Audie? Just on my way to go get a bath.
Just came from there.
Oh yeah, did you get up to anything fun?
And she gives the like a cat's grin, like she's clearly up to something kind of look, and bats her eyes a little.
Of course he did.
What are you waiting for? Tell me everything.
Well, it's not fair to kiss and tell. Although I guess maybe for you, you do.
But, first off, shut up. Is that all you did, though? Is that all you did? You just kissed?
There was kissing, and there was dancing, and there was more dancing.
And she's clearly having fun needling Roz by like teasing out.
Audie, I need details. Unless I'm not allowed to have details, I need those details.
What sort of details do you want? Do you want it to be graphic, or do you just want the general idea of things?
Alright, so first off, you don't have to tell me a thing. I want you to understand that. This is just gossip, it's spelling the tea and all that. But that said, if you're offering up all the details, then where's the grisly details?
Well, her name was Muse. It's very fascinating dreams, They're actually kind of like her namesake.
I kind of figured that part out.
I'm still trying to figure that out with Bandit. I'm not quite sure how his name fits him. But Muse was a muse.
Alright.
Have you ever met somebody that feels like music? They just make you kind of want to be alive, to follow whatever passion you have.
Yeah. Why?
He's kind of like that. It's quite fascinating, actually. I don't think I've ever met anything like her.
Aw.
And she kind of gives you like a sidelong look.
Well, I'm not going to tell you that I just fell in love with someone. Not about to get attached like that. But it was quite an experience.
I said it was quite an experience.
And Audie is clearly like just smirking at you, like the further the closer Roz leans. She's just like,
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to give me nothing, are you?
Well, what's there to explain? I'm not going to give you a minute-by-minute update.
Why not?
In the middle of camp, a patrol walking by stops and stares for a minute.
Not your concern. Don't worry about it.
Those damn greenies, so unstable.
The fuck did he just call us?
Oh, yeah, Dr. Kleiner there. Apparently we're becoming good at greenies. He
Why?
told us, because they're from Greenwood. And well, we're kind of the newest bunch.
It's
Apparently
really,
we need a better
I
name.
don't have anything better to call us.
Your client said that we should make a name for ourselves.
Oh.
But back to the topic at hand, if you ever have a chance to have sex with a Doreen, I highly suggest it.
Yeah, Roz is broken now. You got her.
yeah. And Audie knew exactly what she was doing. She just waited till they hopped topics and then like brought her right back.
Worked like a charm.
Yeah. And she kind of, she'll snap her fingers in front of Roz for a second.
You still alive in there?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. See, that's why I can't go into heavy details. I'm afraid you just, I don't know, your brain would explode and I don't want to have it anymore.
Vein would explode. That's what you sound like.
Oh, I know exactly what it sounds like.
Do
I hear
ya?
myself more. Yeah, well, I hear myself more than other people hear me, don't I?
Can you hear yourself? I can barely hear you.
Would I be able to have a moment with you? Or you're heading out to.
She points over her shoulder.
You're heading to bat.
Yeah, I was gonna wash the stink of the river off of me, but yeah, it can wait if you got something you need to say.
And she'll kind of look around to see if there's like, are there benches in camp or like somewhere so we're not standing like in the thoroughfare,
There are.
awkwardly standing in front of like Covert's bench.
Yeah, I imagine, you guys were like just at the entrance to the east side of camp where the other mercs are. And so,
Uh-huh.
yeah, you're just sort of there off to the side near the entryway where a bunch of people are passing through all the time. And definitely within earshot of Covert.
Just like look over and you see him slowly lifting popcorn and doing some.
Oh, it's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be way too much.
Audie would blow him a kiss. Like, no shame.
So what's up? What you need?
Well, I was a bit shook up by the last mission. Afraid to lose you, know? You seemed a bit upset that you didn't go to the portal. And to be honest, I'm not upset at all.
I was. Maybe I still am a little bit, but I actually just got done talking to Bandit about that actually. Smart guy. Lots of good advice. Um Help me put things in perspective a little bit. I don't feel quite so bad.
I'm glad to hear it. I was really worried I'd lose you. He's been my friend the longest. You know more about me than anybody else, really.
Audie, I'm not going anywhere. I. That's not a promise I can make, though, and keep, is it? We're warriors now. Could happen at any time.
I'm ready for that. I'm just not ready for you to do it on purpose.
It wouldn't have been on purpose. I'm hoping that whoever does go to close that portal comes back with no casualties. Let me put it that way. Because if they come back and their group is smaller and it's because I didn't take that leap, I might feel bad all over again because, and like I said to Bandit, my one life is not worth two others. That's not how that works.
At least I know what you're getting into. That's important. We didn't even know what was on the other side. If they failed,
Everything we'd never want to see is what's on the other side.
if they fail to come back, we know that we sent our strongest. And if they can't come back, we definitely weren't coming back.
Then you don't follow. You don't have to follow me into hell itself. You know that, Audie. I mean that metaphorically.
No, in this case, it might have almost been literally. But, I mean, you'd have followed me into hell. I know that. If I'd been the one to go to the Merc, I don't think you would let me go alone. I don't think I could have convinced you to let me go alone either.
Of course not. I'd have leaped in head first and put an axe through the bitch's face.
Exactly.
I would fight the devil for you. All of them.
Huh?
I'd
How did you know
lose.
us
I'd
returned,
fight
eh?
'em.
You can't be the martyr for everybody else and not let us do the same for you.
Don't expect me to not try to stop you. And I'm a little harder to stop physically.
I'm going to learn to use my voice one day and then I can stop you. Keep you alive as long as I can.
Be honest with me, Audie. You could use your voice anytime you wanted to stop me and you know it.
I'd hate to take that choice from you. But I think in a matter of keeping you alive, I might risk you being mad at me.
Right, well, I'm going to credit myself with something else, even if I do still feel a little bad about the Merc portal. I may not make the best decisions on my own. I understand that. But I will say that based on me listening to everyone else in the group and me going to Covert for advice and then to Bandit for advice, I know how to ask for help when I'm in over my head. And if I never have to go charging into a portal on my own to face unknown dangers, if I never have to make a split-second decision, I know how to ask for help and to listen to others wiser than me. You can always talk me down. I'm not that thick-headed.
Right then. As long as you listen to reason, I'll make sure not to use my voice on you.
Won't be mad at you if you do. Might even be proud of you.
You know what? I know it makes it seem like I never want to be afraid of anything. That I'm quite shameless, honestly. There's not much that ruffles me. But what I'm about to say, I don't want you to take it the wrong way, alright? because I think I've told you my philosophy. I want to love the world. I want everybody to know that they've got somebody. But that doesn't diminish. That doesn't diminish that I love you, Rose. You're my best friend since I was, I don't know, 6. Barely that.
Audie, I love you too. I assume you mean like friends, right?
And she gives a smile. Absolutely. I might be a little weird. You're a bit like my sister at this point.
Wow, I've known you since I could literally open my eyes, so it's not inappropriate to say.
And Audie wraps Roz in like the biggest hug she can manage.
Yes, come back right.
On bloody stumps if I've got to.
Right then. I should let you go have your bath. You see about having a companion sometimes. It doesn't always have to lead to be, you know, anything sexual. You can just have company. But it's price.
Wait, you can do that?
Just have company.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Derek, Rosin, their
I don't know the
consort.
rules, Audie.
Their consort, not hookers. You're not
I-
paying them for sex. You're
I
paying
didn't
them for
know that.
company.
I thought it's you walk in, you give money, get sex.
But it
Saying
could
that
be
way
if
too
that's
loud,
what
by
you
the way.
want.
And Roz is just, or not Roz, Audie is just losing her mind, silently laughing, doubled over to her knees.
I mean, if that's what you're looking for, it could be. But you could also say, hey, Valor, you know what I want? I want just some company, but make sure that they're not going to advance on me because I'm a bit of a mess. And I'm sure he'd understand completely.
You know, that red-caped bastard over there is learning way too much about me, way too fast. Aren't ya?
Audie looks over and like gives a high-armed wave, as if she's waving over a crowd.
He's got his chin propped in the palm of his hand on his desk, and he's just like staring at both of you. And when you wave and Roz yells at him, he just shakes his head slowly and then turns back to his paperwork.
Thanks for telling me, though, Audie. I do really appreciate hearing your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I've been told today not to be a bit of a martyr myself, so I'll make a point of being a bit more forward about it.
Good. Good. So anyway, I'm gonna go have my bath. Maybe with company, maybe not. We'll see. My confidence is kind of on a coin flip right now. But keep your schedule free tonight. We might go to dinner with the Immortal Bastion if you're feeling it.
That would be lovely. I need to be free this evening, though. But I think I can
Oh,
slip
all
away
right.
for that. I have an appointment at the Daisy.
Oh, well, I won't keep you from it.
It's later in the evening. As long as dinner's not too long past sundown, we'll be fine.
I'm sure you could leave early if you needed to.
Do I tell the others if I see them?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm on my way to train, and if I see them, I'll let them know.
Thanks, Audie. You're the best. As all Give Audie another nice big hug, kiss on the top of the forehead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say, Audie would give her like a kiss on the cheek back, but I don't know like if their height difference or like a kiss on the shoulder. I don't know.
I think they're the
I'm
same
trying to
height.
picture it.
They're the
Yeah,
same
you guys are
height.
short.
They're the same
Yeah.
height?
Yeah, you guys are pretty close to the same height.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I always picture like Roz at like 5'6" or something, but she's shorter than that, isn't she?
Yeah, Roz is 5'4".
Oh, okay, yeah. They're very close to the same height.
Mm-hmm.
Mountain humans are small.
Mm-hmm. Then she would, she get the kiss on the forehead, and she would lean up on her tiptoes to make sure she could reach and do the same.
And I need those details later. If I don't get details from you, you don't get details from me. Sticks her tongue out.
I was gonna say, as weird as it is, it's not quite like whispering. I guess it's just Audie talking normally, But it's just,
But you need to have details to give in the first place, wouldn't you?
and she sticks her tongue back out the same as they kind of part ways.
All right. Audie going her way, Roz going hers.
Meanwhile, and conveniently timed, look, a Lilith.
Oh, right as they're leaving, or
Yep. You're walking up right as you see them parting ways.
oh, 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 oh. Just kind of like awkwardly stands there, unsure if this is like, oh, maybe I should say hi, but they're leaving, and that would be awkward.
Hi, Lilith. Didn't see you there. You're getting real stealthy.
Uh-huh.
You going into the seductress?
Yeah, just getting a bath. Are you?
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess we're both getting baths then.
That's right. Why are you talking like that?
No reason. She's going to walk past us into the tent.
Well, now Roz has to follow.
Yeah. You both go into the seductress. It is blissfully cool inside. Same as before, you're in a small standing area, podium, of which behind the pale-skinned, silver-haired, ice blue-eyed Valweir awaits. It gives you both a bow of acknowledgement. Lilith, Roswin, thank you for coming again. What services can I interest you in today?
I'd like another bath, please.
Very well. Please fill out your preferences on this sheet.
She will quickly mark hers down.
Mm-hmm. And for you, Roswin.
Same thing. I'm here for a bath. Let's see. Scent preference.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Lilith, what's your favorite scent?
I'm keen on lavender.
Lavender, please.
Very well. Any preferences for your attendance?
No, we're going to say it with confidence this time, Roswin. I like girls.
Very well.
What she said. Celestially pinches the bridge of her nose.
Well done.
Then I will make a selection for you. Would you both like to prepare together or separately?
Separately.
Separate. I didn't realize that was an option. Separately?
Yes. Roswin, please wait here a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Lilith, please follow me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And just like before, Valor offers his elbow, and then we'll walk you through the right curtain. You pass through the threshold, and you are brought into a changing room, in which he goes over the brief rundown as before. And then, bowing, he says, "Your courtesan will be here in a few minutes. Enjoy." And then leaves. He emerges not too long later, to you, Roz, and then does the same thing. Takes you in through the threshold, and when you arrive on the other side, there is no sign of anyone else having been here.
Perfect. Well, get ready for the bath then. Didn't bring the armor to get clean this time. That's a shame.
Next time, then. Your courtesan will be here in a few minutes. Enjoy. And Valor leaves. And you both get ready. And eventually, you both have courtesans that come to greet you. For you, Roswin, there's a half-elven woman that comes through. She is slimmer in figure, tan skin, short cropped brown hair, freckles on her cheeks, bright brown eyes, almost orange. And her ears are, given that her half-blood lineage are quite shorter than, say, like Lilith, for instance, but they are no less expressive. She gives you a very warm smile. Roswin, my name is Marissa. It is nice to meet you for the first time.
Pleasure to meet you, Marissa.
You can call me Mari if that's easier.
Very well. Mari it is.
So, is there anything special you would like during your bath, or would you just like me to keep you company?
I see my reputation for nervousness doesn't precede me for once. Or does it? And you're just...
She gives you another very polite smile. Again, it's not worker polite. It is in fact like there's like a genuine smile behind it, but you can tell there's a propriety to it. Do you want me to answer that truthfully?
I don't like lies. I've already had my fill of those today.
The courtesans are familiar with your reputation.
Of course they are.
But that doesn't change the way we're going to act. You're not the first person to be nervous or anxious about an implication of coming to a place like this. But
you know,
go on.
I actually do believe that you can do something a little for me. I assume that it's not all that uncommon to lightly massage someone who has been in battle before.
Not at all.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and admittedly, I can only go so far, given that you are paying for a bath and not a massage. But
that's all right.
Should you find my sample agreeable, perhaps you can come in for a massage at a later time.
I think I'd like that.
You were saying before.
Oh, nothing. Just going to boast a little bit about fighting shadows, and it's not necessary, really.
Well, we're going to be in a room together for over an hour. You can talk to me about it. I would be interested to hear.
You're going to listen to a lot of insufferable boasting from a new warrior who hasn't done anything all that impressive.
You wouldn't be the first to do it, but if you're actually proud about what you've done, that makes you better than most of the other ones I've had to listen to.
Well, if you tell me to shut the fuck up, I won't be offended, I promise.
I will keep that in mind,
Shall
she
we?
says carefully. But yeah, she will sidle up next to you, offer you her hand, then take you into the bathing area. Of which, yeah, Mari is what you would consider like the best gal pal.
Mm-hmm.
She's eager and interested. She asks you probing questions. Very good at like stroking your own ego to make your accomplishments more valuable than perhaps you consider them to be,
Mm-hmm.
without seeming disingenuine. And likewise, while you're not paying for a massage, you do get, as she said, a sample of it, and she's very good. You probably suspect she's a regular masseuse here.
Oh, we're coming back.
Yeah, she hits those spots where at first just like oh, especially for those fighting on the regular. It's just like that knot was there, that was there, it's gone now. Now it's just tingles down to your toes.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. And it is it's an enjoyable experience. Although I'm sort of obliged to say that because, I mean, if it's bad, you're going to leave a bad review.
Well, there's only a little nervous shaking at first.
Well, the thing that's nice about Mari is that she doesn't make fun of you for it, and she honestly doesn't pay it like any direct attention at all. Like I said, she does a good job of making you feel good about being you.
Well, fantastic, because Roz calms down as soon as she starts talking about herself and someone seems genuinely interested.
Perfect. Take notes, someone else. Meanwhile, Lilith, you are waiting for a few minutes, and around the time that you are ready, you have a teal dragon eye come in. They have they're predominantly teal in color with splotches of orange across their scales. They look like they fit right in with a beach resort. They have fins on either side of their head that kind of swoop down back along their spine. They have a very smooth, curved figure to them. They move somewhere between like a dancer and a snake. She seems polite, kind. Comes in, greets you with an informal elven bow, which has none of the rigidness typical formal elven greetings have. Hello, Lilith. I am Dawala. Are you ready for your bath?
Yes, it's nice to meet you, Dawala.
Well, then let us not beat around the proverbial bush. Let us go tend to your needs. And she kind of grabs onto your arm, loops it through hers, and then walks you through into the bathing area.
I do have one question.
Of course. Go on.
Would it cost extra to have you help wash my hair?
No, of course not. the bathing option comes with an attendant for the sake of specific needs during your bathing. Tending to your hair is one of them. And might I add, not commonly seen in these sorts of environments, but extremely breathtaking. I'm surprised you can maintain it.
Well, I haven't been here that long, so we'll see if it holds.
Well, if you keep coming here, we'll make sure to help you do that.
She is clearly very flustered by the compliment.
Well, in a similar manner, mostly because you suspect this is just part of their job in hospitality, is that Dwala's sweet, attentive, very compliment giving, and knows exactly how to rein them in. So like begins to notice if you get a little self-conscious about it, knows how to rein them in and be a little softer to warm you back up to other compliments.
Lilith just absorbs all the all the compliments, just eats them like Kirby.
Ah, yes, a vacuum. Okay.
I mean, she's getting pinker as the minutes go by, so.
Yeah, fair. All right. Roz and Lilith are enjoying their baths and their company. Audie, you're going to go receive some training. Either magical or physical. Why don't you just roll me a percentile die to see of which training you endure until the evening?
Sure. Set that. 60.
Okay. You get some magical training.
Okay.
In which case, serendipity has it that you run into Sky as you are going towards the training fields. And Sky offers to spend some time with you training in magic. Meanwhile, Titan's just plinking away under a hot forge, which at the very least makes the remainder of the day not as awful with how humid it is. But after you're done at the forge, what does the rest of Titan's day look like?
I mean, he's definitely going to want to cool down.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I don't want to make too many plans because we've got a dinner appointment.
True.
Which I assume Roz informs us of eventually.
At some point.
Yeah, and if you cross paths with Audie at any point, she'd mention it to you as well.
Mm-hmm. Gossip among the party gets it there.
Mm-hmm.
So, unless Sam explicitly wants Roz to have blundered up sharing this information amongst the party, we can just assume at some point prior to the actual engagement, Roz managed to inform everybody.
I assume that it's the latter.
Perfect.
We both get out of the bath. Oh, by the way, we have a dinner planned tonight.
Yeah. In which case, I dare assume Audie, being the social butterfly that she is, when she returned to the Greenwood camp, could have left word with Lotus.
Yeah, probably with Lotus, would let Corona know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even then, assume you have a small window of time. Or do you just want to like hang on to that nugget until next week, wherein
we've got like 3 minutes left, CJ. I'm not gonna...
yeah, you know what? Yeah, fair. True. I'm really bad at looking at the time occasionally. All right. Well, don't worry about it.
All right.
We'll worry about it next week when it's our problem then. Yeah, I guess we'll just call it there then. No reason for me to drag out the 3 minutes. So we're finished. It's the end of the session. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for playing. Thank everyone else for being here in whatever form they want. Justin, if you're still lurking, best of luck to you. Well wishes. Hope things turn out well.
Thanks, chat.
And thank you to everyone else, including Echo, who I saw swing by. Can I assume Kay started a process of raiding someone?
I just need to know who.
Oh, I don't know. Fine, let's go pick someone, because...
Our usual friends are not. Dyson Autism is online, though. We've rated them before, and they were delightful.
Sure. Yeah. Go fire it off in that direction.
You gotta finish your sign-off, though, before I can hit
Oh,
enter.
yeah, you're right. People, honestly, session today, make great choices. You do the same. See you next week.
Thanks for hanging out,
Thanks,
chat. We appreciate you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Sometimes, the sign-offs are a bit more coherent. Other times,
You get what you get,
You get what
Yeah.
you get.
See you next
Bye.
Wednesday, maybe.
Yay.
Maybe.
Maybe. Thank you for setting that up, Kay.
Of course.
Bum, bum, bum.
We're free.
And